What to expect at your first dietitian consult? That is the question for today. And I am super excited because this is, you'll see. Welcome to Sisters Let's podcast.
Welcome to the Sisters Let's Talk. My name is Lucia.
And I'm Fumi. We are so happy to have you along today because I think this is the first time we're doing something like this, something different, I think. So, the scoop is Fumi is attending her first ever dietitian consult, and you get to be part of it. If you all did not know, Lucia is a registered dietitian. I get to consult with her, and she gets to just be this professional person that she is.
But like she said, I never thought of it, but I guess, and I know that there are many people that have been referred to a dietitian and never show up for one reason or the other. And she
I don't
gave
know what to expect.
yeah, exactly. People don't know what to expect. And
Mm-mm.
everybody wants to know what the dietitian is going to tell them, or does
Like,
not want to know what the dietitian would tell
I
them.
think that is the question. Do I really want to know what the dietitian has to say? But we're back in my head. I think I kind of want to know, but right up here, mm, nah.
Maybe if we go right to the top as to what exactly, why don't you want to know what the dietitian has to say or has to share with you?
Okay, lady.
What
If
is
I go
the
to you and you have to tell me, girl, you can eat cassava leaves, you can eat potato leaves, or this is this amount that you have to eat, and that already feels like a heavy burden on me. Like I know I need to lose weight, right? I know I need my blood sugar to go down or I need all of this. But I feel like when you say like put the restrictions around it, it puts another level of stress. So even though yes, I want to lose the weight, but when you have a doctor tell you or like a professional tell you that you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do it like this, you have to cut this amount, you have to eat this at this time at this, it's like, but if I don't know and I just wing it,
so
there's no stress level there.
I think that's just human nature, because I think at the end of the day, everyone has that, whether it's a dietitian or something else, someone
Yeah.
else. There's that part where you already judging yourself, so you feel that you're going to be judged.
I
Operative
don't know
word
if it's
feel.
judged. It's it's when you start putting, I think it's like anything. If you start putting boundaries, start putting conditions around it, like restrictions, even though it might be good for us, even with our kids, if you try to say, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, at a point, you're like, even as a kid, you're just like, either I'm going to rebel or I'm going to follow you to the letter and be the scaredy cat person that everything like just freaks me out. I feel like you either go on either one side, and it's just finding that balance, which I know we can find, but it's like, uh,
So one is the boundaries, two is the judgment is still there. Uh
yeah.
Well, because, for example, simple,
Mm-hmm.
I think I told you this before we got on.
Mm-hmm.
I was making food, cooking food that I had already decided to do. In my head, I wanted to fry the chicken,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't have enough time. I had already made that decision myself, but
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have the time, so I abandoned that plan and put the chicken to boil, to
Mm-hmm.
steam.
Mm-hmm.
And then my husband walks by and said, yeah, you think, why don't you fry the chicken? And right there in my mind, I'm like, ugh, what? Now you're telling me the chicken is not looking good, or the chicken should have been fried and it would have made the food look better, or what? I fried the chicken. But in my mind, I was like, yes, I had already had that conversation. And now you're telling me, and yes, I know would have been better if I fried the chicken. It's kind
Mhm.
of that, not for everyone though.
Yeah.
But some of that is in there. But at the end of the day,
Mm-hmm.
so what to expect as a dietitian? I think, yeah, it's everything. You are going to be told certain things. But
Okay.
from my point of view, it's the
Mm-hmm.
same as when you go to your family doctor. It's the same way when you go to your dentist. We all do that. When you know you're going to a dentist, maybe one week prior, if you floss once a day, now you're flossing twice a day. If you floss if you floss every other day, now you're making sure you floss every day, kind of thing, because you're going,
Yeah.
someone's gonna
Or
evaluate.
yeah.
I told my husband, I actually said this weekend, going to your healthcare provider, especially your
Mm-hmm.
dentist, or when you see your healthcare provider, and I guess
Mm-hmm.
now you can say dietitian, um, is one of the ways where you are almost completely bare in front of that individual.
Yeah.
And food, especially when it comes to food,
Mm-hmm.
we all have a relationship with food,
Mm-hmm.
relationship that goes way back.
Way back. Mm.
Way back.
Way back. How my
Personal
grandma
relationship.
made it. Mhm. Way back.
Exactly,
Mm.
exactly. Cultural
Mm-hmm.
relationship,
Mm.
traditional relationship. And
Mm-hmm.
now in your head, okay, they've said go see the dietitian. Now the dietitian is gonna tell you to do this, don't do this, don't do that, the boundaries. So right off the bat, you've already you know, you've had all these presumptive
Conceived
conceived
expectations, and I've already
expectations.
put up some barriers.
You've
I've
already
already
put
made
up
some
some
plans like, nope,
barriers.
you ain't going there. I don't know about that. Yeah. Like I really want I want the pounds to come down, but
This
slowly,
is
baby
true.
steps. All of that. It's a raw thing. It is. I'm telling you. It
It
is.
does happen.
It is.
So here's what I would say,
Yes.
and this is the honest, straightforward, before we get into the consultation with Fumi.
Yes.
And hey, this was her idea.
Hmm.
I told her I'll be gentle.
Okay. Because seriously, the truth is, we're not going there. They gave me something to go see a dietitian. It wasn't urgent. They were like, it will be a nice thing because you've been saying, oh, you've been trying to exercise and eat better, and the pounds are not going down as fast as you want it. So that's one option. Or you can try doing it by yourself. So, but
Right.
I'm trying to get a free one right here. So you'll get to be part of it.
So the first thing is,
Mhm.
when you get a referral to see a dietitian, um, I'm going to say it like any other profession that you go to. I think one of the most important, if you have a choice, if you have the
Mm,
option,
mhm.
is to research and find, if you have the option, to kind of know who the dietitian is or who you're going to see as a dietitian.
Okay, so with that said, as an African woman, well, it's both ways. Like right now, I tell myself I'm in the middle, right? When I think about food, I'm thinking I have to feed me, I have to feed my children, I have to feed my family because I don't want to be a restaurant making three different kinds of food every day, right?
Right, right.
So as a traditional person that cooks traditional food, I have my kind of food that I cook. I'm also incorporating food that it's because of where I live, right? My kids and they eat the food that I make, my African food, but not they'll eat other things. We all eat other things. We don't eat
Mhm, mhm.
my traditional food every day. What kind of dietitian will you recommend that I look for even at that point? Like, can I see anyone that probably they've never heard about my food?
So I'm not going to say you cannot see. a dietitian if they are not from your background or don't understand or you can't relate. Because I
Okay.
think at the number one, I think at the end of the day, there are some information you will get that will that you will benefit from,
Mm-hmm.
right? That's one. But if you are trying to make a difference, a change, a lifestyle change, yes,
Mm-hmm.
it is important that you're able to get someone that can relate to
Okay.
your food, or they might not know your traditional foods, but at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day they might be able to relate. So for example, if you go and find a black dietitian,
Okay.
they might, a black
Yeah.
American, they may not have ever had your African food.
Correct.
Nowadays, it's minim. Well, there's some
I think food is
awareness.
yeah, food is more
Yeah, but
global
at this,
now, but still.
but still, but she
Yeah.
will be able to understand. He or she will be
Mm-hmm.
able to understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Or if you find a Hispanic
Mm-hmm.
dietitian, at the end of the day, she might be able to understand. I think, but at the same time, it depends on the background. It depends on their experience. You might still be able to find a Caucasian dietitian who actually has traveled extensively and is able to.
But
So,
where will you be able to find that information to know, like, okay, how is this the person that I should really go with? Like, what are some things that you will say, look for these things? Three things that you can say, look for these things for you to be able to make that decision. Okay, let me try this person.
first thing, if you're referred,
Mm-hmm.
um, show up at the appointment.
Okay.
Because if you have the pre-notion that that dietitian, even if you know that's a
Mm-hmm.
Caucasian or Hispanic or black, you could, it could
Mm-hmm.
be a Caucasian looking for a dietitian, right?
Mm-hmm.
That pre-notion, you've already had that. You've already, your appointment alone is not going to go well, period. So
Yeah.
I would say show up with an open mind with
Okay.
at your first appointment. And if that you at your first, you will get a sense of maybe this will work, maybe this wouldn't work.
Okay.
Same thing with a psychotherapist or counselor.
Okay.
The second way to do this is when you go to the American Dietitian Association. You could
Mm-hmm.
go there, and you're able to, they have listed dietitians, and you're able
Okay.
to read their backgrounds. And you can also go to your local, so your state, because
Mm-hmm.
the college for that state also has their own list. So you go to
Okay.
their website and you're able to find that list. For us in Canada, same thing. For us, it's the Dietitians of Canada, and then of course the province. You can find that as well. And it's also important to look them up because these colleges also help to protect the patient, right? So
Okay.
you want to ensure that this is someone who is actually a registered dietitian, because we've always said this, there is a difference
Mm.
between a registered dietitian and a nutritionist.
What
Now,
is the difference?
there are nutritionists that are actually have gone through the training as a dietitian but choose to call themselves nutritionists. At the end of the day, it's a protected title that
Mm.
states that you've gone through the degree, the knowledge, and you're able to address the food and the physiology and biology needs of that individual versus just your food. So the science behind it as well.
So the nutritionist will tell me the kind of food I need to, and a dietitian will tell me the kind of food I need to eat because of all the other things that are in
Mm,
my bio, kind of thing.
well, based on what's going on disease wise,
Okay. A
right? If
dietitian will be able to address that, and a
will
nutritionist will
address,
not be able to.
yes, if that nutrition just calls themselves a nutrition, like I said, there are nutritionists who choose to, but they've gone through the training.
Training. Okay.
Yeah. So, for example, you may have um, let's say Crohn's disease, and that
Mm-hmm.
dietitian has been trained to a degree to look
Mm-hmm.
at your blood work and be
Mm-hmm.
able to identify certain things and help you adjust,
Okay.
right? So they've had that training. Now
Mm-hmm.
there's it's a it's a there's a scope of practice because they're not medical, they're not
Doctors.
doctors, right?
Okay.
So it's not extensive, but they have that a certain scope to be able to identify.
Okay. So when they identify, so right now, I came to you. First of all, what are the reasons why someone will go to a diet, will be referred to a dietitian? Because I know I was referred because I've been trying to lose this weight. I've done different things, got on my portion control, try to move more, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the weight was not going as fast as I wanted, considering I wasn't all the time consistent, right? Um, what are the reasons why they will send me to a dietitian?
There's so many reasons. I think one of the first things, a general reason would be prevention. So which comes likely in your case,
Mm-hmm.
prevention of all these wonderful diseases that we hear, the cardiovascular, diabetes, because it affects your food,
Mm-hmm.
affects a lot of things and how you eat and what you eat, etc. And then
Okay.
you have people who have specific needs. So
Mm-hmm.
the common ones would be there's a heart, heart disease. Someone had a heart attack. Now they need to learn, or they have kidney disease. They need to learn because there are certain things that will affect that you need to restrict on because your kidneys are not filtering as well.
Okay.
Um, if you're pregnant, you need
Mm-hmm.
nutrition in a different, slightly different way. If you're pregnant and you have complications like gestational diabetes, like there's so many from complex to not complex, or weight management. And the weight, when we say weight management, it's not necessarily just only just I want to lose weight, period. There are reasons why you might be referred to a dietitian for weight loss because of ABC or what's going on with your health.
I guess people too that need to gain weight might be referred to a
Exactly.
dietitian.
Exactly. So there's so many reasons why
Okay.
you're referred. And you can have a dietitian in the hospital, a dietitian in the community, a dietitian in public health, like I mean, so many
In different
areas.
ways. Okay. So
For me.
I am trying to be a very good patient. I'm not that the best patient, and because I normally have a lot of questions. But so yes, I'm here for my consult.
I know myself as
Madam
a
Kind.
patient, I have a lot of questions. I ask, well, actually, I have a lot of questions, but my family doctor doesn't say much. And I don't say, I actually don't say much when I go. I just, because he understands me, I understand him. I
Yeah.
say, this is why I'm here. He says, oh, okay, here you go. Bye. So, if in a perfect world, you get
Mm-hmm.
to meet a dietitian who you can relate to and understands your food, your relationship with food, and so on and so forth, i.e., cultural, traditional,
Mm-hmm.
etc., then in a perfect world, when you meet that dietitian,
Mm-hmm.
one of the first things that they want to know is, why are you there? Are you there because they sent you there? Are you there? You could have gotten a private consultation that you are getting right now.
Okay.
Or
So I am here because I I need to talk to a dietitian because I'm doing all these steps. I'm trying to walk like 10,000 steps a day. I've been really trying for like it's almost a month now, right?
yeah, it's almost a month.
And I consider myself I like food. I do have a really good relationship with food. I really do. And I like it to look nice and I like it to taste good. I love seasoned food. I don't like too much fatty food, but I like seasoned food. So, but I'd expected at least some of these pounds to have left me, and they're not going as fast as I want. So here, my lady, I need some magic.